Hi, we're on. Welcome to the 7th edition of the SoCal VW Scene, brought to you by Cool Tech Motorworks and Hot VWs Magazine, here in the wonderful confines of the Schley Brothers Museum. We're really excited about this edition because we have some special guests. We were going to have 4 Volks Chancellors. We ended up with 3 of them. We have Reggie, Wayne, and Craig with us. You'll get to know more about them in just a moment. But we want to welcome you here today and talk about some of the things that have gone on the VW scene. We had our Triple Crown Awards. Those are all settled, and you probably already know now. Anthony Hearns, John Sugar, David Stark, Tony Klink, and Tristan Hollenbach were our class winners in Outlaw Turbo, Super Stock, Real Street, Powder Puff, and Pro Eliminator. So it was a great season. We're looking forward to it. And don't forget March 10th when we start up again.
Absolutely.
What's happened since October? The Deeks had a Carbs and Coffee. They project to have one tomorrow, but I don't think sunny Southern California is going to let us happen. So if you're planning on going, tell me how it was. I'm going to let Amber tell you about San Diego, North County happenings, especially one that I went to that's now on my list to always go to.
Yeah, we're glad you're going to come. So yes, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Volks Chancellors. We're excited to have you guys here today. One of the events we had in September was the Fiesta. It's hosted by the San Diego Air Cooled in collaboration with the other San Diego car clubs. Beautiful event. It's right on the water in Imperial Beach. You're parking your buggies in the sand. You're parking Volkswagens on the pier and in the promenade. The streets shut down. They have the Mardi Gras band. They have food vendors and raffles and prizes. And it's a fantastic show. If you've never been, you definitely need to put that on the radar. And proceeds from those events go to support local nonprofits. I know they donate to Family Health Centers of San Diego, and I think they donate to the Boys and Girls Club as well. So super fun event and also a really well-attended event in San Diego. I think they have somewhere close to 350 cars parked down in the beach for that event.
It was awesome.
It's a great event.
Really awesome.
And then there's camping ahead of time. So that was actually my birthday weekend, and we camped down at the beach in our buses down there by the water. And it's an experience like no other, really, truly. A couple other events I'm just going to run into real quick. So Lee Hedges from North County Air Cooled hosted Toys for Tots Drive, and he has a really great double cab bus, and it was overflowing with donations. We go from Vista at the Volkswagen dealership down all the way into Imperial Beach and ended a really fantastic restaurant called Kahuna's, and we crash on them there, and more people join us, and we have a couple stops along the way, and huge donation presence and really, really fun time. And then the New Year's cruise that the San Diego Air Cooled hosts every year on New Year's, they do a food donation. And so they fill a truck full of food donation. We do a really fun cruise. We get to stop down the Silver Strand, get a lot of really cool pictures, and support good causes in the community. So huge thanks to the San Diego partners that really do great community stuff and really support community events. So those were some things that we attended in the end of last year.
So, and on that note, my own club, the Panzers, had our Christmas lights cruise. We've been doing it close to 20 years. We had 135 cars, and we thank the Fullerton Police for coming and picking up a lot of toys. You guys were very generous. VW people are that way. They are very giving, and they like to help whenever they can. Plus, they like to run those cars.
Yep.
Yeah, Buses by the Bridge. I didn't go. I heard it was a fantastic show. It was full to overflowing with VW buses, but when you're a drag racing VW freak.
No, I have some friends that went. I went last year for the first time. I didn't make it this year, but it was a huge turnout, and I know that they do a lot of good with the proceeds from those events as well.
Yeah, I think that VW clubs that do events that help underprivileged people and people who need the help, there's nothing better you can do with your car club than do that. We are excited that we have 3 of the original Volks Chancellors here with us today. We have Mr. Craig Roberts,
President,
Mr. Wayne Richards,
Sergeant at Arms,
Reggie McCoy.
Secretary, I'm out of money.
And we have a number of questions we're going to ask, but at any time you want to tell a story or spout something out, you go right ahead, because that's what this is all about. And Amber's going to start by asking you.
Well, first, let me remind you, gentlemen, these mics need to be up here so we can hear you, because your stories are very valuable. I know you don't want to hold yours, but you're just going to have to.
Yeah, you don't have to do this, but
Oh, there you go. He's got a mic holder. That is first. So gentlemen, you have a pretty unique niche in the world of like racing and Volkswagen racing. How did you get started? What was the caveat that said, let's do this?
It really started out to be a social club,
Okay.
and we did parties and events for groups, and we did outings, and then we also worked with the politicians. If you notice in the magazine that shows the mayor of Compton,
Very nice.
which we helped with his campaign, and we did that, and then we also did.
did he win?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Sorry.
And we also did a Head Start program. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
about
Oh, I
that.
do. That's
Where we used
awesome.
to take the kids to Santa's Village in our Volkswagens.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how we were able to do it, but but we took kids to Santa's Village and other events for kids. But we started out social club, and then we converted to a racing team.
Very nice. And when was that?
68. Club started in 65. I joined in 68.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and on that photo that's in the magazine, that's actually when the Volks Chancellors were signing a charter
Okay.
with the city of Compton.
That's awesome.
And we're probably still chartered, but they've had like 7 million mayors since.
At the time, there was probably 20, 25. maybe
Well-
more. 25,
Put your mic up
30
there.
club members. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
We had 25 to 30 dedicated club members. Yes.
Yeah, and actually the Volks Chancellors didn't have a problem poaching people from other clubs. Because there were a lot of
Poaching. Oh,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sounded politically correct.
yeah. No, oh, yeah. No.
Reggie was poached from.
I do that to eggs, but I never.
Yeah, I was sitting from another club. I'm gonna get a car show at a Volks Chancellor event, and I was convinced by the Volks Chancellors to join the Volks Chancellors. And it's all
How did they convince you?
38.
That's not poaching. That's robbing.
Really friendly atmosphere, and the guys were all on the same page
Hmm.
with everything that they were doing, and I just loved it, enjoyed it.
Because what people would see in South Central Los Angeles is the Volks Chancellors on Sundays all together, cruising down Crenshaw Boulevard from maybe Compton all the way to the Wiener Schnitzel on Crenshaw. Every Sunday, disciplined Black men in Volkswagens and just having fun cruising with their cars. And they were all basically California, but we all found out that we can race
Yeah.
and we can go fast. And we have people and know people that help us. And it just, everybody that wanted to get in the club, you had to go down a quarter mile or eighth of a mile. What else? You had to, go down a quarter or eighth of a mile.
Some faster than others.
And meetings. And we also used to race at Orange County Raceway on Wednesday nights.
Oh, Wednesday night.
On
Yeah.
Wednesday nights.
Well, I just want to add that I think the first time I went to like the bug-in weekend, I parked next to you guys. And what you say about like inviting and kind and everybody's inclusive, like all of that is 100% true. I left there going like, these guys are so much fun. I want to camp next to you every single time. Had a blast. And so, yeah, appreciate that and what you do with the community there.
Like when I met you, that's one of our things. We love to help.
Yeah.
And everybody used to, on Saturdays, we'd go a different house every Saturday
Mm-hmm.
and help each other change clutches and work on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first met you, you were running the 1/8 of a mile at San Diego Qualcomm Stadium.
Uh-huh.
And I mentioned to her about the handbrake.
Yep, absolutely. Because
And
I
said,
was,
Use the handbrake.
I'm using 2 feet for
It's the
3
right way to
pedals. And,
stage a
Yeah.
VW.
and
Yeah.
he comes up and he's like, I got some duct tape for you. And I was like, I just got another foot. No, that's awesome. Awesome.
But we've always helped each other and wanted our club to grow. And we didn't want no trouble.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
didn't
back,
want no trouble.
back in the day, I found out years later that we were known as the black guys from Compton.
Oh,
That
okay.
was strike 1 and strike 2. But we have yet to this day got strike 3.
Oh, good.
Right.
Okay.
You
When
were
they-
the Volks Chancellors.
That's right.
No.
Well, you haven't. Wait,
So who came up with the name and that emblem? The emblem is iconic, you know.
you got it
It's
on
just
your,
sort of
you
like
got it on your flannel.
Every
Show.
club, you know,
Oh, your
we got
flannels.
this one, and
Yeah.
Look at that.
so
Right there.
so who came up with that?
Beautiful.
That's a good question. I really don't know. When I joined the club, the emblem, well, it was different design. I should have brought the jacket, the original jacket, that had a different design on it. But after we got into the racing team, that's when we switched over to the emblem that we have now.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
it's a-
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
we were with there being a lot of different clubs, those names wouldn't stick. I mean, I was in a club that was Insecticide Incorporated, but I think the original club that was a Volkswagen club in the inner city was the Wagon Masters.
Wagon Masters.
We
I
started-
remember that.
We used to, I used to come out and run rallies at Riverside Volkswagen. But that was a huge club, and then everybody just started working their way into other clubs. Like I said, Insecticide Incorporated, that's where I came from when I joined the Volks Chancellors.
Well, if you remember back in pretty much the 70s, everybody was a Der, you know, it was Der Kleiner Panzers, it was Der this, and it was Der Volksbrückenaufbau and Der Gutenheim and
Bless you.
the Volkswagen. And I mean, the Ders were just all over the
Right.
place.
One of the places we kind of got a big name was one of our cars was the Super B with Fred Payne.
Remember that?
Fred Payne ran NHRA and actually held the national record at some time for NHRA, and he was a member of our club, and he was a mechanic, and he helped everybody, and it was just we were racing Volkswagen,
Yeah.
and
And you could tell people who didn't know anything about it,
Right.
and they'd be going,
What?
right?
Oh
What?
yeah,
And another question would always be, is that a Porsche engine?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'd go, no, those are slow.
right. yeah.
And I lived in Germany for 2 years, right? Yeah, not on my own.
And, you know,
Sam.
And when it was going, we all had to learn where to get stuff. You know, Gene Bird, he sell good stuff. Taco,
Yeah. Bill Taylor, he was,
Bill Taylor of Taco was really big in us going, along with your dad, Julius. And as we, Mr. Roberts, we, they would help us.
That's what he wanted to be known as.
Yeah.
He didn't like to be called Julius. He wanted to be called Mr. Roberts.
that name, Mr. Roberts, is in a famous movie with Fulminator Mercury. You know what that is? Where on the ship they put
Right.
stuff in
Palm
the,
tree and-
yeah, and they took the palm tree and threw it off.
overboard.
Mr. Roberts.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Quick story.
Please.
I've been called Mr. Robertson. And that's because back in the day, when my father was going somewhere doing something, I was always with him. And they said, well, who is that older gentleman over there? Oh, that's Mr. Roberts. Who's the one that's with him? Oh, that's his son. So it went on and on and on, and finally got to, well, who is that over there? That's Mr. Roberts. Well, who's that with him? That's Mr. Robertson. So I become Mr. Robertson.
You extended the last name.
So it's Roberts, not Robertson.
Got it.
So You already talked a little bit about club goals, streetcars, cruising, and events, but let's talk about the racing part. Who were the guys in the club that really kind of led the way? Now, Wayne, you're currently racing
I'm still racing
a
right to this
Volkswagen
day.
now, to this day.
And these guys, because I'm the youngest.
I think that's a relative
You
term.
guys
Well,
can hear the
I
peanut gallery,
just wanna
but
get
that's a
clear.
lot of laughter.
I just want to get that clear.
Yeah.
They taught me, what to do to get fast. You got to do this. You got to do this. Do this. And I do it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still having fun. And when we do go, when I go, or when Leroy was going, whatever, these club members, they would come out and still support us. We all supported each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They come to Bakersfield, they come to Vegas, even if they weren't running a car.
Mm-hmm.
So we could all support each other. And it's always been that way.
Yeah, my husband and I bumped into Ghost out at Vegas a couple years ago,
Right.
and there was a crew around him always.
Yep.
Yep.
We also had a lot of inter club competition,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and for different reasons. Wayne's laughing because Wayne's brother, before he passed, when we early on in the club, between myself, Starling, and what was it
Lee, Flip, and Lee.
Yeah, yeah. We all had beards, and that was a prize for the winner.
On
Whoever
Green
won the
League.
race,
On
we
Green
got
League.
to keep their beard.
No.
So I still have my beard, so that I don't know what that means. But
Well, I know back in the day in the Panzers, we had a top 10 board, and you had to, if you were number 9, you had to beat number 8. Even if you could beat 5 or 6, you had to go through, you had to knock them off to get to the top, and everybody wanted to be on top. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great internal competition.
so that's basically what some of these TV shows are about.
Mhm.
They copied it.
Yeah.
They copied us.
Yeah.
They stole it from you, man. We should talk about that. So, all right. So, how many cars have y'all had individually?
I think the most we had at one time was 30
No, individual.
Well, that too,
Oh,
club wise, and like how many of you?
Craig's Toy.
over the year,
Craig's
Yeah.
Toy.
Craig's toy.
Craig's Toy was his first car.
7 or 8, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay.
The toy was my first car that I ever bought.
Which was your favorite?
They're all my favorite.
I know they're my
The
favorite.
The toy was about the favorite.
All right. All right.
And back to Gary Berg,
Mm-hmm.
I had a 67 fastback that I put a Berg 5-speed in it. And
Okay.
the reason I got the Berg 5-speed was because at one of the bug-ins, we came to the bug-in, unloaded the race car, the trailer, raced all day long. Gary Berg came in a 67, took the street tires off, put slicks on, ran 1230s, 1240s all day long, pulling the wheels and carrying on, just having the ball. And at the end of the race, we loaded our car on the trailer, towed it back home, and who goes by us on the freeway? This current with Gary's 5-speed. And I said to that day, I had to have one.
Yeah. There you go.
And I've had 3.
Well,
There you go.
and you also have another transmission story that relates to the Schley brothers.
So many of
They loaned, I guess it was your dad racing way back when?
That's Craig's Toy.
Yeah. They loaned a gearbox from the Lightning Bug to you guys at the bug-in.
them.
Keep you on.
You
the
don't
track
have a
then.
recollection of that?
I was a driver. I wasn't a mechanic.
Mr. Roberts did all the work.
We
Well-
found out that you couldn't drive and build.
Well, I can tell you, if Mark Schley, the historian, said so,
It's true.
take it to the bank. That
Yeah.
is fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he built motors, and I practiced the lights.
Mhm.
And people wanted to know how I got so good on the lights. Well, it's because I went racing 5 nights out of the week.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Practice
Irwindale,
makes perfect.
Right.
And invest.
For sure.
You want to win?
Oh,
Invest.
man.
We were in Orange County every Wednesday night.
Right.
Everyone. The inside of Doug Gordon's bus had pit passes and time slips stuck all over in it, and it was like a ritual. It was Wednesday night. What are you doing? Are you kidding? You don't know? We'll see you there. You know.
All right. So Arthur Wayne, how many Volkswagens have you had over the years? And second
They call
follow up,
me,
what?
okay, I'm gonna just say it. My nickname is Squeaky.
Oh, I see.
They all say I squeak.
Uh-huh.
I have the same car that I had that's in this issue of February 75. One car.
And so that, I guess that's your favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
it was down for probably 10 years, and then I was able to use the money.
Mm.
So,
After I
but it's
sold off
purely
my-
a race car now. It's not a street
Oh,
car.
big time, yeah.
Well, that's what it was then.
What is that car called? What's her name?
Well, Wayne's Wagon, you know the name.
Well, the viewers want to the viewers want to
Wagon.
know.
It's always ready.
Except for that 10 years. Right. Except for right now.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Sound like he's
I'm
calling
saying
Amber
same
out.
car.
A little bit of calling me out. Because we've been on the track together.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to you, Reggie. How many cars have you owned over the years?
I really don't have any idea of how many cars I've had.
Oh, so you had all the ones he didn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Volkswagens. You used to buy Volkswagens for
Mm. Yeah.
$100. You
Or
can't
just
do
take
it.
it off my
That's the
property.
first
You can have it, right?
Well, you could have had a couple of yours, who knows? For sure, I know I had in race cars. I had funky weekends.
So who's the skinny guy driving?
That's,
That's his little brother.
that's roll cage. No, that car was separate because remember I came from a car show era,
Hmm.
and when we used to show the cars, you had to make a major change every year.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so my car would get painted like all the time.
Wow.
When I got to that, it stayed for a while. Then I had the silver one. Of course, a lot of people
Flames was ugly.
know the silver one that I was running with a lot of Volkswagen series. Most people know it from the back.
I get it. I get it.
The flames was ugly.
Yes.
So,
I hadn't started yet. But then I had another one. One of my favorite ones, and I know you guys want to hear about it because Craig said something about it. Was my struggle buggy.
Hmm.
I had what was called a struggle buggy. I think I bought that thing for like $25, $50. And we called it a struggle buggy because it struggled. You had to slam the door to start the motor. You had to, and that was even when we were going to race somebody. And the entertainment of it was that we left the windshield wipers at 6 volt. Well, we changed the car over to 12 volt, but the windshield wipers stayed 6 volts, so they went pretty fast.
and they wouldn't stop unless they caught him just right.
You have to turn the door. You have to turn the car.
Uh-huh.
Right. We had a lot of fun with that car. And I had a motor in that that was built by Howard Hughes. And Howard, well, one of my brother-in-law tore the motor up. I think he was doing like 75 in first gear. And the motor just didn't want to stay with it.
No.
Yeah. But that was one of my favorite cars. But I had a lot of, I had a Volkswagen when I left and went in the military, and it was torn up when I left. I probably had about 7 or 8
Okay.
different Volkswagens.
I bought mine.
In the
I
past.
bought mine from Bill Taylor for $600. The same car. For
Don't you
$600.
wish you could buy them all day for that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, that brings to this mind, who are the motor guys? You said Howard Muse did a motor for you.
And Mr. Roberts.
I think everybody in the club, our club, diversified with engines. We Howard was one of the people. Steve Timms.
Steve Timms.
I ran out of Steve's shop when I had the rust colored car. Who else? Oh, and the guy in the club that does motors is Mofo.
Oh,
Bruce Ford.
Bruce Ford. And there's a trick with Bruce. Bruce will probably build everybody's motor, but Bruce just doesn't. Bruce asks you the question when you say, Bruce, when are you going to be finished with my motor? He would ask you, do you want it now, or do you want it right? Do you want it right now, or do you want it now?
Mhm.
Right? But Bruce takes his time, and Bruce is he's a engine builder that clocks every bolt on the engine, and he takes his time. And if he uses a nickel to tighten up a screw, he's going to use the same nickel to tighten up the next screw. Right, and that's just how Bruce is. But I think Howard Muse,
take
Bill
off.
Taylor,
Bill Taylor did
Bill
some.
Roberts,
Dick Nuss.
Dick Nuss, didn't Les Wixon build a couple of motors?
Les, yes,
for barbecue.
That's all of
Les
the
Dobbs,
barbecue.
Les Schultz.
Yeah, we went with a lot of people. A lot of people were attracted to our club and helped.
Leroy went to you a few times back, yeah.
Yeah.
He was fast too.
We also had club members that worked at VWD.
Yeah.
Like Carl Anderson,
Cliff.
Clifton Phillips. They worked and they built motors and trains. A lot of our stuff was done in-house.
Well, yeah, and like in most clubs, you know, you start out, maybe you pay somebody, then you get the parts and they do it the first time. But if you race enough, you need to be doing some stuff yourself. Otherwise, you're going to go, you know, bust your wallet. I mean,
True story.
The reason I'm smiling and breaking,
is this another Volks Chancellor?
this is my son.
Oh, yeah. Howdy.
I
Welcome.
did not know he was coming.
I looked up and I was like, there's another person in here. Does everybody know they're here?
he's
And what's
probably
his name? Introduce him.
Nick Richardson.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, right.
Come on over.
Yeah, this is my son.
Careful
And
of
he's
the wires.
probably going to be driving my car pretty soon.
It seemed like they're gonna have a merch trailer out here. Just so happened to walk by the camera with the jacket
Perfect.
over here. Reggie keeping
Well,
his legs warm and stuff.
I just wanted to welcome you because you're part of the whole deal here. You know, you're his fault. So,
The next generation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Volkswagen guy? Please say the right thing.
Oh, hand off your mic, Reggie. Mike, will you hand it to him? Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say so. You gotta be at this point.
And he's learned how to be a really good crew chief.
Want to race?
Yeah. Everybody wants to be a driver, but
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wow.
that was always the best thing about racing with Hunsaker. I'd say, well, don't you want to make a pass? He goes, no.
Nope.
I want nothing to do with that. I go, okay.
Well, everybody asked Leo that, my husband. They're like, do you drive? And he's like, nope. And he's bye.
Well, I did the same thing with my father.
Yeah.
And he got in the car one time and he said when he went to third gear, the car started pulling to the right. He said, does it do that all the time? I said, yes, it does.
Uh-huh.
Correct. Keep on going.
Well, now that I put that roll cage in mine, I've got the Ron Loomis roll cage in the Gias.
Yeah.
I have a 65 Carmen Gia for who doesn't know. Leo's like, you have to get in to start it so we can just run the motor in the driveway right now because I fit in it better than he does.
Right.
Well, you learn over the years that after you drive a car for so long, then you start building. You get just as much satisfaction in watching your car go as you do driving your car.
Exactly.
No.
The seat.
I got to
There
be
you go.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting under and tinkering a little, but I still want to be the driver.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point that I was at with my silver car. We ran Pro Eliminator, and Michael Durkee, who's also a club member,
Mm-hmm.
his son
Rossi.
Rossi drove my car. And
Oh, did he?
Yeah, well, because I mean, I face the fact that I'm getting older.
Uh-huh.
You know, and years of playing football and baseball and everything else catches up with you, and my reactions just weren't.
Did you have to take the seat out, let him sit in the back with the long legs?
No,
Ronnie
it was-
Tollins.
He was actually done so that the seat was adjustable.
Oh, good.
But once it got back here, it's where it stayed.
Uh-huh.
My whole club, if you came around and watched our car run, the whole crew were both chancellors,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rossi and Mike did work on the car. Bruce built the engine, right? And we all worked together on it. Right?
Mhm.
So it was a bracket car, and it was run just for that,
Yeah.
right? We could let it sit for, and this is the way Bruce builds engines. You could take my car and let it sit for the off season for 5 or 6 months, and we could go back to Sacramento and take it out of the trailer and run exactly the same time that it ran before.
Yeah. Consistency's everything in brackets for sure.
And we won quite a few races with that.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few races.
So I just a little side note here. I did talk to Gary Berg this morning. He wants to thank everybody for their kind wishes and their prayers and all that. He's doing much better. He's dealing with, he's lucky. He's dealing with the financial ramifications of that much medical assistance right away. So I hear rumors of a GoFundMe page. I hope somebody does get that in process. I'd be happy to fund a little. He's one of the good guys. We all know Gary very well, and we know his history and his past, and we want him to have a lot of future. So anyway.
Yeah. It takes a community. So
As long as we have the Volks Chancellors here, we have more questions. your thoughts on the VW scene, past and present, and you can take that one at a time, and you can say whatever you want.
Whatever,
Do you hear me?
You can.
whatever.
Whatever you
Yeah.
think
I
about.
think it should be better.
All right. How?
For the simple fact that back in the day, when the companies never got together, everybody went in their little cubby hole and did their little thing. And then they came at the track and they met. Yes, we all got along. We had fun and race and everything, but we never did an overall thing, for the VW industry. If you look at the import races now, they're sponsored by dealers, factories, everything. Volkswagen was sponsored by different clubs,
Mm-hmm.
different small places. And that's one thing that I felt bad about. I think if we had have gotten along a little more or opened up to each other a little more, we would be, and I don't want to say better because we're good now.
More collective.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're older.
That's my thought. Yeah.
There you go.
We did used to have, even when we had a lot of different clubs, we met at Volkswagen dealerships,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think we, at one time we were at Lee Whistler Volkswagen. We were at a couple other different Volkswagen. I think I bought my car at Huntington Park Volkswagen, one of my cars. But we did, and I'm with Craig. A lot of the togetherness, right? It's changed quite a bit. I remember you were saying something about the transmission. Right?
Mhm.
I remember I got a transmission from Rich Cowles, and then Rich turned around and kicked my butt because we were running this.
I remember Rich
He
Cow.
didn't give you no excuse to lose.
It's probably why you with the transmission. You know I couldn't beat him. Right? But, we did it with a lot of togetherness, and it is kind of there now again. But when you can't really see it until you go to, like you said, the import race. When you go to import race and everybody else is against you because you're a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Because we won one of the import races with my car.
Yeah, and they don't like us.
They do not like you.
No, they don't.
But take it back even to NHRA. It used to be, I remember running at Bakersfield, right, with NHRA, and was threatened by the big boys, by the big blocks. When you leave this line, trust me, we're gonna run right up your butt,
Mm.
right? And you had to believe it because it was scary, right? But I would like to see it a lot more together too.
My thing is, I would think, because there are two entities. I think, what is it? It's Buggerama, and we have, I can't think of his name.
Bug-
Triple
Bugging
Crown,
series.
Kimball,
Triple Crown.
Periscope Enterprises.
Sometimes, back in the day, no, I don't want to go back, but I'm just saying there was a bug in. Bugging was every 6 months. That was the only bug event that was happening, but it was every 6 months. And it was good. As opposed to sometimes I wish these two entities could get together, but I know everybody wants to watch their own money. And I just think it would turn out a lot better if they were together and there was more going on. I mean, no, I don't want to go back, but engine pulls and car push races and the bikini contest. I mean,
I
all
got
that
told
was
I
fun.
couldn't have a bikini contest at one point.
So,
You try to interview everybody.
and
Somebody
also-
has to.
And also, the purses were a little bit sweeter. So, I just kind of wish sometimes that because I mean, we got one entity, they do a race 2 weeks before the other one. Okay, what are these guys going to do? Are they going to every race? No, everybody can't go to every race. So if there's one race, say every 6 months or whatever, maybe that could work for a big meet. Just like I know the cost of renting these tracks. Okay?
Yeah.
So another point then we need to think about from back in the day. We used to have things called rallies.
Yep.
And clubs from all over. We'd meet at Montgomery Ward's up off of Harbor Boulevard there. And you'd run the rally and you'd end up that evening at the pizza parlor. And we'd have so much fun, completely away from the racing
Right.
scene. You didn't have to pay a huge entry fee.
Right.
You wanted to pay it. You paid a little bit and you got a dash plaque, and you didn't put them things on my dash, but you had a
Yeah.
collection of them on
Right.
the refrigerator or something.
Yeah.
But but there was a lot of camaraderie in the street scene. And you kind of lose that when you go racing. Now, back in the day, when we were pro racers, the Schleys, myself, and others, we kind of formed the NVRA, and there were other efforts to try and be, a common front for the Volkswagens.
Right.
And that worked for a little while. NHRA was big on VW's racing. They're big on anybody spending money in racing.
Yeah.
But the street scene is definitely what is not, like the Deeks will have carbs and coffee tomorrow.
Right.
Not really, but they're scheduling one. And that's a pretty cool event. But,
Yeah.
I'd like, if nothing else, to have cruises where we meet at a big location and we go cruising with 100 VWs, because they still elicit a lot of attention
Oh, yeah.
when you go into a city and you're cruising along. And people,
Yeah.
when we do our Christmas lights cruise and we had 135 cars, we go through a place where it's
Yeah.
all one deal.
Yeah.
And the people, I got to call them and tell them, now, when are you coming? Because the people are out in their yards and they love it. And we love it,
Yeah.
sitting in those cars and driving along. So,
We're fortunate in San Diego to still have some of those cruises, to have like big get-togethers and everything. And don't kid yourself, you are an absolute menace on the freeway. I'm not gonna lie. You get 100 cars cruising through these little streets and stop signs and everything, but it draws a lot of attention. We go down Coronado and then come back. So it's two ways of Volkswagens going through and high-fiving each other out the window, and everybody's out in the front yard taking pictures, and it's fun. So I think you're right. Like, more of that would be awesome. I do, though, really quick. Is it Nick? Is your name? Can we see what you think of the Volkswagen scene?
so
'Cause we need
Nick,
more
did
youth.
you have to look at your jacket? He said, but you didn't look.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding you, Nick. And Wayne, if I cut you off and where you were going, I want to let you back on that where you're talking about.
You know it's gone.
Oh.
and I know you can come up with some more.
I love these guys. I truly do. I've been looking forward to this for a while,
Absolutely.
because the Volks Chancellors used to come when the Panzers had a rally and stuff. You guys used to come. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It was the thing to do.
Yep.
Thing to do.
He tried to figure out what the question
No,
was.
no, I was gonna-
What do you think of the whole scene, basically, right?
We need more youth in the Volkswagen scene, right? More people my age,
I just gotta.
Just building the camaraderie, you know what I mean? The more you guys can do together, the more exposure. There's so much social media now that, there's probably people that would love to join and could participate and don't even know about it,
Mhm.
So the more you can kind of get together in the friendly settings and the cruises will just build, the community and keep it going.
And Nick, that's a good point. When you say social media, there are people that instead of going in their Volkswagen to some event or something, will just sit there and,
Yeah.
what's going on? What do you mean what's going on? You're sitting on the couch. Get in your car and go.
Drive them, don't
Ron,
I
hide.
remind people, I say, as cool as they are and all that, by the way, they're still cars.
Uh,
They still have a purpose.
Right.
Well, that's, in my personal opinion, right? And I'll just kind of reiterate that stuff. When you get outside of California, you start going out east and these guys are used to driving minimum 2, 3, 4 hours to an event.
Mhm.
Out here, we're spoiled.
Yep.
Guys barely want to dust their cars off to go to carbs and coffee. And you can't get the camaraderie for another generation to have the car seen when you're not out on the road in the car.
Yep.
It's that driveway chrome, like the dude neighbor with the Harley, it's just like, I'm going to dust it off. I'll go around the neighborhood and come back. But we are spoiled in Southern California because everything's so close. But you already know, Ron, people bitch to drive to Fontana when it was going out there. You can't get a car club to caravan the car, to Fontana,
I'll
let
go.
alone
Well, you
Irwin.
can.
What happened to cruising to Sacramento to the races and doing all these things? We've lost that drive and desire, the camaraderie to help a brother out if it's on the side of the road or whatever it's going to be. It's just lost.
That's Corey Ryder, my chief productionist guy and engineer, and it's a very good point. Back to where you were.
Well,
Thanks, Nick.
it came back.
I thought
Okay.
so.
I mean, like this year, Buggerama. Okay, it's just me. I love the
drag
events that
racing.
go on. You got it right.
No drag race.
No drag race.
What,
What is that?
were you drinking or?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, car shows are great.
Mhm.
Okay,
The drag race is the show.
exactly.
The car show and the swap people, the spectators, they pay for the show, but the show is the drag racing.
That's
And
right.
everybody that parks in a car show and goes swapping eventually is in the grandstands
Yep.
and they want to see the cars
I
run.
know I'm
Yep.
not driving to Wild Horse Pass
Yeah.
in Arizona.
You almost called it
and it's
Firebird.
yeah, and it's no drag racing.
There
Yeah.
almost wasn't when I went out last year because there were like 4 medical emergencies. I got like 2 passes.
Right.
It's terrible, but that's
So,
a long way to go.
What else is going to happen in Bugarama if you got the car show and you got the swap meet and you got the whole track?
Yeah. You can go look at it. So I guess another thought that I always have is none of us are getting any younger.
No.
And there needs to be people in line for those fantastic cars we have. The problem is you and I bought Volkswagens when we were young for $500.
Yeah.
And then, we put money into them stuff, but the car that I drive around today now, Sonny, you can't have it for $500.
Nope.
You can't have it for 5,000. I probably wouldn't take 25,000. Matter of fact, a guy in Japan offered me 30 and I said no.
Well, you're supposed to take it and build another one.
Yeah, Ron.
I'm a little old to be building another one.
Oh, please.
Well, we
just-
have the younger generation coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring them up.
Yeah.
That's a learning lesson for him.
I just want to say that we truly miss our Sergeant at Arms today, Leroy
Your
Wright,
boy Leroy.
Mr. Bug-In.
Leroy's not sergeant at arms. Leroy is
Okay,
vice president.
I said Vice President.
No, you didn't.
He's in charge of Vice.
It's on record. It's recorded. Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know why they came out. Thank you, Fred. I really wish he was here so we have some input from him also, but he's doing better.
Miss you, Leroy.
Good. Yeah, we do miss you, Leroy. So, yeah.
Dean Kirsten shared a couple of photos with us. We'll do it the slideshow at the end of the show of some of
Awesome.
you guys' cars from back in the day.
Nice.
And I think the difference too now, we used to, the Volks Chancellors worked in every capacity that there was at the Bug-In at one point or another. We've also won a lot of different contests at the Bug-In. I don't know, they didn't mention, not only was Leroy Mr. Bug-In,
But his
but wife,
wife and or girlfriend, I don't know at that time.
Yeah.
his wife, we're not gonna say nothing else. His wife was Miss Bug-In, and they've been together the whole time. Right, so that we worked tech, we worked security when Wayne started to fight. No, we worked at the Bug-In. We've done just about everything.
I didn't start.
I think the thing that we may not have injured was the engine pool,
Right.
right?
Yes,
But
we did.
the engine pool.
Calling clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were guys that did that in a little over 2 minutes. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
But we did do the car push.
Yep.
We had some small guys in the club. So again, that could be the driver.
You got 4-year-olds in the front seat.
We've done just about everything that there was. Right, at the Bug-In. For years we did that.
Okay, so nowadays, you have a car, it's a race car. You don't drive it on the street.
No.
You have a car, it's a race car.
No.
No,
No.
he's got a.
You got a
sedan.
street car.
Street car.
Yeah.
It's the damn.
But the Volks Chancellors, they don't have a schedule where, they're going to go to the Deeks thing, which it isn't happening tomorrow, to Cars and Coffee because it's going to rain. But what are the chancellors doing nowadays in terms of a club? Are you kind of like full leaning rest now, or?
We don't have meetings. We don't have events. Well, the events we do have are the drag racing. And when we find out someone is going to race, we go and support him. Like he said, in Vegas. I showed up in Vegas one time and he was there racing and he didn't even know I was there. But we go and we support. We have our, I don't want to say separate families, but we don't have the full-time dedication that we used to when we were younger. Because it's a lot harder now.
Everybody live basically in LA.
Mm.
Right.
Well, but we do have text messaging, Facebook, you know, and the whole thing. And we used to go.
So back up. There's a Volks Chancellors Facebook page.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Really?
Volks Chancelors Racing Team.
Yep.
In fact,
This was posted on their page.
Almost every event that happens gets posted on the Volks Chancelors Racing page. And we do have one member, Eddie. I don't know why Eddie doesn't want to post straight on the page. He sends it to me, sends other people, then I put it on the page, but he could post straight on the page. And everybody's welcome. It's the Volks Chancellors Racing Team. You're welcome. And if I don't like what you post, I'm just going to take it off. And that's it.
That's the end of it.
But, we get a lot of postings on our page. It's quite, I think it's
Yeah, I follow you guys.
4,000, 5,000 people on there.
Hmm.
Or something like that. But it's very good page.
Mhm.
We used to hang out on. We were doing 120th and Crenshaw for a while, and it just gets a little. The guys want to do it on Sunday mornings and all that kind of stuff. But we got grandkids and
Soccer games.
great grandkids and stuff like that to keep us from being able to do that all the time. But we were in constant contact with each other. We talked to Wayne 16 times on our way up here.
Mhm.
We got lost.
Because he got lost. You had to throw that in at the end because he got lost. What'd you do?
But we're in constant contact with each other. Everybody is doing a lot of other things. I stopped with the Volks Chancellors for a while because of the things that I'm doing now
Yeah.
and what I have done. I mean, I've coached Pop Warner football, high school football, and college football for a while. You know, and then I just came right back around.
Yeah. How about them damn Rams?
Man, I'm not a Ram fan. So
Oh,
how about the Raiders? Who?
well, they're a Vegas team now.
So I agree with you. Like family takes priority, right? And so like even in our club, like the San Diego Locals, last year I had some job changes and we've had some people with some like pet things and some family things. And so we haven't had an event. We're trying to figure out if we're going to do one this year, but we're still tight. We've got our Facebook chat and we stay in touch. And so that connection, that's not going away. Like the presence isn't going away. And so you all, and especially at the track, I've seen it, you all have an amazing presence. Like you see when the Volks Chancellors are rolling their cars up, like you see when they're there. And that's how I know all you guys.
Let me say this to you, Amber. I don't think my wife is watching.
Oh,
Our families do understand
Mm-hmm.
where the Volkswagens fit
Mhm.
in our lives. And there's never, I don't think there's ever been an issue with anybody with their family, and we do get it, you know, kind of equal time. We might hear about it later,
Mm-hmm.
but we do, and our families do understand. Both chances were here before a lot of
Yeah.
them were.
Well, and the clubs become family, right? Like
Yeah.
they do. And so, you know, when I met my husband, he had one Volkswagen. And so I have 4 and he has one Volkswagen. I've sold 2, so it's 6. So I'm almost caught up with y'all with your 7. So over the years, but you know, it's our passion. It's what we do. But at a place where my son's older and my mother's super sufficient and retired and lives at the property with us, we've got a granny flat. I can dedicate more time to that now. Right. Whereas when my kid was little, I couldn't. And, you know, when things were different, I just didn't have that. You can't put yourself in 2 places. So I think that makes sense, but it doesn't mean the club is less family.
And
Yeah.
like before every race, all of us talk
Mm-hmm.
to see who's coming,
Mm-hmm.
so we can see each other there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
well, my
much the
kids are
move.
40 and 35 and they don't hang out with me nowadays. And that's okay. We go racing and
Well, I'm gonna tell you a story about my little buddy over here, Nicholas.
Nick, you
He,
sure?
he always, you know, hear me talk. He always hear me talk about, yeah, you're gonna be taking the car, or you'll be driving it pretty soon. I'm, you know, probably gonna shut it down. Then I can, you know we're gonna have a good crew chief and all that stuff. That never happened until the car went 10 seconds. When the car went 10 seconds, we driving home from Bakersfield. He says, "Yeah, Dad, it looks like it's about time." You know, no, you know, 11 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. No pun intended. The bugs are worked out.
Yeah, I think about it from time to time about those days when we'd go to rallies and we really didn't care about running the rally. We'd pull up on Harbor Boulevard and one at a time we get in there and go, one, wah! Now and the next one, wah! And everybody knew who we were. And we would hang out with everybody. And then at the end in the pizza parlor, we did this thing where some crazy man would stand up on the table and scream, give me a P, loud and an A. And then we'd yell, what's that spell? And then we'd have some more beer. And, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was not just my club, but your club. And over here was DRF and
Yeah.
everybody had their own table, but we were all together. And I miss that.
Yeah, because I think the last time is when they had the bowling also. The last event that I think we were strong at was when they had the bowling.
Wasn't that a Clyde Berg
Yes.
sponsored event? I
Yes, it
thought so
was.
because the Bergs were very big with the
Yeah.
bowling thing and all that.
And that's a long time ago. A long time ago.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything?
Go ahead.
I would like to say, Paul, Mark said I can drive the Cobra,
Oh, and then afterwards the RV.
and that's for real.
Your son is there helping you, tell you when to push in the clutch and
Tell him, Mark. Tell him, Mark. I already know. There you go. I might not be able to.
The peanut gallery over here is
I
strong.
can find reverse, but I'll find first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why the guys
Yeah,
have
we
ashtrays in their Volkswagen.
don't need no reverse.
We would really just like to say there's been times when the chancellors felt that we've been left out. But I would just like to say, as a sergeant at arms, that we appreciate also this podcast.
Very
We
much so.
appreciate having you guys. It's
Absolutely.
been fantastic and a lot of fun. And I reached out to Volks Chancellors over the years for some of our
Ron,
events.
I have a letter here from you from 2010.
On that note, I wrote a letter, right, and we were going to submit it to Hot VW magazine. I ended up showing it to Rich Kimball, and because we did feel left out, right? We felt like you did a magazine article on us in 1975, and then it took 50 years to get another article, right? But we appreciate it, right? It was very, very helpful. Personally, I kind of felt like we weren't getting an attention. It was not helping us to progress, right, with our racing. Because a lot of it is you have to be seen, right, and to be recognized. And we just didn't feel like that was happening. It's starting to happen now. We appreciate, like you said, the podcast, appreciate the article in the magazine.
Well, you better watch out because I have a column now. So
You know what? I'll say this again. I'm 75. There's nothing you can do to intimidate me.
I wouldn't even try.
It wouldn't hurt a bit. I wake up calls. I don't give anyway. But I mean,
So 75 and Wayne,
69.
73.
77,
Young man.
78, 79. Never mind, Nick.
Wondering what that then gay smell was coming from.
Nick get his driver's license next week.
Well, we want to thank the Volks Chancellors very much, and we hope that Leroy is doing better. And we may have to revisit this again just to get him down here. It would be a lot of fun. I know I enjoyed the hell out of this.
Absolutely.
Day to day. It was one of those that you'll always remember. And anybody out there that is in a VW club and wants to throw an event, let us all know. Maybe we'll come. Maybe we'll drive our cars.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll all have a good time.
Yep.
I want to thank the Schley brothers of course, because the museum is fantastic and they always give us a slot here. I want to announce that we hope to go monthly. We still have some details to work out, but you'll be advised, and we want to be in your face more often than not. And I want to thank my beautiful co-host, Amber, my boss at Hot VW's magazine, Shin, and my media guy, Jeffrey Hicken, and my fantastic production engineer, Corey Ryder. We thank you all for coming. And Nick, thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for dropping by.
See you next time on the 8th edition of
On the
SoCal
8th
VW
edition.
Sign.
I would also like to add thank yous to everybody, all the support. There's over 400 subscribers now. If you subscribe for Go Live, you won't miss an episode. Thank you, Corey, Shin, Jeffrey, Rick, Paul, Mark, this beautiful panel, and my co-host too. We've enjoyed every minute of today. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.